Superman and Lois Season 4 Episode 3 has just aired, and oh my god, did they deliver with another banger. Despite this season being cut short, lots of budget cuts and, decrease in characters, this show still manages to deliver an incredible episode. We've had 3 episodes of this 4th season, and so far, every single episode has been amazing, and it just keeps getting better and better. And speaking of better, this episode was definitely the best one yet of the season. We've only had 3 episodes, however, this one I have definitely enjoyed the most. We've had so many shocking things taking place in this episode that certainly I was not expecting. We just need to talk about this, especially the ending and what's to come as well. So of course, for those who are new here, this is going to be my review and breakdown for Superman and Lois Season 4, Episode 3. So this episode kicks off with the burial of someone, like it's more so a funeral, but near the Kent farm. And over here, we have the whole family, and pretty much we think what's happening over here is that, this is just the burial of Clark. But at the end of the episode, we get an incredible surprise. That, of course, ending up being Samuel Lane. This was something I was not expecting. I did not watch the trailer for this episode, so I didn't really know if they did hint towards it or anything like that in the trailers. But this was definitely a big, big surprise. Now, we have Lois then submitting the article of Superman's death. This is, of course, her pretty much letting the whole world know that Superman is not coming back, in case there's like a catastrophe or something like that taking place. Lois pretty much releases this article to pretty much tell people, Superman is no longer around, so there isn't really much of saving to happen for him. So don't expect him to come. But of course we do still have Superboy, and during this episode we do find out that we do have another friend joining the super family as well. Now, Samuel Lane is at the DOD, and this episode was very centered around Samuel Lane. Of course, I will get into that in a bit, but he pretty much talks about bringing John Henry and Natalie into the fold, and so they can get help. They do also talk about the serum that Bruno Mannheim created. Now, it's strange that Natalie and John Henry weren't around for the past 2 episodes. Of course, they have been away, and the reason they chose for this to happen was due to the budget cuts for this season, and they had to cut off a lot of the cast because of their decreased budget and just everything they have for season 4 going, decreasing or just getting smaller. So they had to keep the cast condensed and small throughout this season, and this is the best way they were able to go about it. But yeah, it's good to see them back as well, and they do get some really cool action scenes in this episode, which once again we will get into. Now, like I said, this episode was mostly centered around General Samuel Lane, and at first I was questioning why, but of course after this episode we do find out that this is for a reason, is because it is his last episode. Now, we do also get flashbacks with Samuel Lane, and mostly at first we get with Lois and Clark revealing that he is Superman. And then eventually we have flashbacks of Clark mentioning that he wants to marry Lois, and Samuel Lane does not give his blessing. And then in another flashback we have, Lois who's about to get married. And we have Samuel Lane pretty much warning Lois that, look, you're gonna marry Superman, he's gonna have a dangerous life, and there's gonna be something coming up that, he's eventually not going to be able to fight off against, and, it could result to him going. Pretty much people like him, superheroes, and in the case of Samuel Lane, like a military soldier, this whole love life thing is not really for them, not really for those types of guys. That's what Samuel Lane is trying to get at, but Clark believes that he can make it work. Now, of course, Samuel Lane does eventually give the blessings, and of course Clark knows it's a no-brainer, but they do get married. But seeing these flashbacks were really nice, and like I said, I did question why we were having these flashbacks at first, but then it all made sense towards the end. Now, this I was not expecting at all, but we do have Jonathan confronting Jordan, and we do have this scene at the basement. This was so cool, and I wasn't expecting this. Jonathan was going crazy, he starts punching stuff, and out of just pure anger, he unlocks his abilities. He does slowly start glitching out, his super hearing starts kicking in, his x-ray vision starts kicking in, he's in a state of panic, and then he does the blow breath, and we see that his freeze breath also activates, pretty much confirming that Jonathan does get his powers. Now, do I think that they were going to do this eventually? Probably, but the only thing is this did feel a bit rushed, but I guess they had to do it because of like the amount of episodes they have for this season and what they're trying to do. So it does make sense. It still was very well fit, and this was something so cool and something I definitely wasn't expecting. But yeah, Jonathan had it within him this whole time. It just took him a while for his powers to unlock. And now we do have another Superboy. So we have two Superboys right now, and this is just going to be really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to see where all of this is going to head. Of course, we're going to get two Superboys and eventually with Superman in the fold as well. I am just so excited to see this. But we have, Jonathan pretty much testing out his abilities, and, family is shocked. Lois is pretty surprised about this. Jordan is surprised about this, and of course Samuel Lane is surprised about this as well. Now, eventually later on in the episode, we do have Lois talking to General Samuel Lane in regards to training Jonathan. And yeah, as I said, I'm just really looking forward to seeing Jonathan as Superboy. It's finally happened, and I am definitely all for it. Now, eventually we do have Lex Luthor pretty much trying to tear the family apart within. This is where he reveals to Jordan about Lois's voice recordings. Now, of course, it is a misunderstanding. Lois does explain later on why she chose, but again, at the same time, it is kind of unfair that she did choose. But yeah, like as I said, I'm interested to see where this goes. We do have Jordan eventually confronting Lois about this. It was a good scene, and seeing Jordan pretty much defending Lex in a way was something that was quite surprising, and I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. It does seem like Lex is, getting into Jordan's head quite well, but will Jordan fold? Will he turn to the dark side? I'm interested to see what's going to go around over here. But we do find out that General Samuel Lane does get betrayed, and this is from a member within, and he's in the DoD working for Lex Luthor. We do of course find out that this serum does have Kryptonian DNA, but General Samuel Lane, he gets shot and he's about to die. Now, honestly, I did not think that he was going to die. I was not seeing it. I did not think something like this would happen, but man, oh man, it was definitely a big, massive surprise. Now, we do find out that Doomsday is coming for Samuel Lane because of, the Kryptonian DNA within him after the serum. Now, we do have Steel and Natalie trying to hold off Doomsday as well, but of course they're just unsuccessful. Doomsday is just way too powerful. And yeah, as I said, General Samuel Lane injects himself to save Superman. He injects himself. Doomsday comes along, pretty much that kills him. And we do have Lois just bursting out in tears. This is going to be a heavy season for Lois. She's just lost her husband, now her father as well. Samuel Lane made the sacrifice to save Superman. But yeah, they do bring General Samuel Lane's heart back to Superman. And of course, this episode does wrap up with Clark Kent, aka Superman, fully awakening. And this is, I guess you can say, the return of Superman. I'm really interested to see where this is going to go for next episode. But yeah, guys, as I said, this is my review and breakdown for this episode. I thought it was an amazing episode once again, and that ending, as I said, I was not expecting it. It's sad to see General Samuel Lane go, but it was surprising and it did work for what they needed to do. And I'm just really excited to see what they're going to do next, especially now with Clark Kent coming back. Are they going to do a Return of Superman type thing, like where he gets the black suit and something like that, and we have the two Superboys trying to handle the chaos while that happens? I don't know, but it would just be a big missed opportunity if they don't do something like this. But at the same time, it is great to finally have Superman come back. Now, whether it will be next episode where we do see him full as Superman, or if it's going to be the episode after, I'm just really looking forward to this. Mostly, I'm interested to see where this whole Lex Luthor Doomsday storyline goes, because it's now at a whole new level with the death of Samuel Lane. Superman's coming back. We got two Superboys, so things are going to be very, very intense for this final season. I'm very excited to see where all of this is going to go. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.